HIPAA. HIPAA. That's a whole day. It's a whole day. When they revamped the laws, 2013, a final rule. Okay? If you do not have an employee manual or a HIPAA manual that is that thick, you're out of compliance. If all you're doing is using 3 forms that you've been using for the last 30 years, you're out of compliance. You're now going to have 22 forms that you've got to fill out, including authorization to communicate with patients by email. If you don't have that, you violated the HITECH Act. So now you're going to do a 9-step risk analysis. It's about 17 or 18 pages. If you've never done it, you're out of compliance. Okay? It's a spreadsheet. It's like a checkoff system. It's going up, it's going down. It's like an Excel spreadsheet. So within that, you got to gather up information. You got to identify the scope of the risk. You got to gather up the necessary security information. You got to identify realistic threats. Your threats in a shopping center are much different than an owner-occupied building or in a 17th story or somewhere. You got to identify your vulnerabilities. It's addressable, non-addressable. If you don't address certain things and it's required, and you get a letter from HHS that says, I want a copy of your HIPAA manual, which you've got to send them, and they want the risk analysis, you've got to send it, and you're not addressing these, and you haven't addressed it, and you got to breach it as a result of that. Access security controls. All these have to be identified. All these have to be identified. You identify under your checkoff system likelihood impact of a threat, determine level of risk, security controls. Okay? If you're on the bottom floor of a single owner building, what are your security? What is it? If you're in a shopping center, what is your security? How easy, when I go to my clients' offices, I just look. Okay? You walk in the door, retail shopping center, right next to Publix. I love Publix. Okay? I walk in the door, and all I gotta do is walk into the front desk, and I got charts everywhere. Everywhere. All I've got to do is bust a window, walk behind the desk, dump all these charts into my bag, and I've just stolen all your patient charts and all the information. Or simply run out with your computers. It is so easy, and I tell my clients that. Okay, these aren't optional. So what do? Your entire staff has got to be trained on HIPAA. Well, they were trained 5 years ago, so we're good. No, they're not good. You got to have a policy for breach. Again, the rule. Cybersecurity, you're breached. What's your protocols? If you have no plan, your building burns down. You have no plan. You got a flood. I'm dealing with a case now. My client had a flood. His servers were on the ground. We're trying to get everything back. He has no backup. That's a HIPAA breach. If he loses that information, we've got a problem. Not optional. So each violation, $150,000 per violation. If the most you can be fined by HHS is $1.5 million per year, so you're lucky. You got a break. They give you a break. That's if you didn't know. If you knew but you didn't do anything about it, $100,000 to $50,000 per violation. If you didn't really care, and you're looking at $100,000 to $10,000, $50,000, $50,000 or more if you just didn't give a crap. And I got clients that are right there. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. Your labs. Okay. Business associate agreements. Anyone that has access to your information has got to sign a business associate agreement saying that they are in HIPAA compliance. If they have a breach and they did not sign, if they had a breach and went right to you, and they did not sign a business associate agreement, you've got problems. You got problems anyhow, but now you got more legal problems. Anyone that's got access to your information has got to sign a business associate agreement. Margaret McIntyre, who's sitting in here today, great consultant. She said something to me that I didn't really think about, but happens all the time. So what happens, we got the corporate guys coming in under letters of intent to win by practices. Our clients are now requiring the corporate guys to sign a business associate agreement, because if they do not, that is a HIPAA violation. And if there's a breach on that third-party end from the corporate guys, they won't access our records. That's a problem. It's a huge problem. You can never be too safe. Disaster, cybersecurity. So what happens if you've got data loss? You got to have a plan. You got to have backups. Okay? What are you going to do if you lose 6,000 charts at 100 to 50,000 per violation? How are you backing up? I'm telling you, I've got clients that are still taking zip drives home every night, and that makes me lose sleep. And I tell them, you can't do that. Employee theft, embezzlement, breach, HIPAA violation. HIPAA violation.